So as the first 3 picks. I mean, I love this.
I mean, there might be some of that scaling nonsense later on. We have seen that a little bit, but we are into game for the first game of week 2. Bifrost versus coming up against JTXL. Really, really hyped, exciting. Is there a composition that you prefer? We know what the desk thinks, but what do you think, Henning?
I think the Galio pick rounds it out really well for Excel. They've got some really nice abilities to neuter the engage that Bifrost can throw in with the Galio, with the Vladimir Pool, the Gwen is immune. So they do have all those tools. What I'm a bit worried about for Excel is that they're lacking sort of the pressure early on. They can go toe-to-toe in the lanes, but if there's some aggressive early game plays for Bifrost, like roaming around looking for the big dives after level 6, it might be hard for Excel to keep up. Kreis will have a tough time as the Gwen versus the Renekton. Vladimir not putting out much pressure early either way. So that's the big worry I have for Excel. But if they get through that, perhaps the rough early game, they should be in a better position.
I mean, having a lot of talent on their roster as well, we're going to have to keep our eyes on how they want to play these lane phases, because I think the devs put it really well when they were saying they were kind of struggling to find a matchup to highlight, because they're all matchups that you can highlight. Shikari gets
and look
a
at
little
this.
bit, but Duel looking, double knockup. Zamalek takes the Ignite, has to flash over the wall. Kickers being followed up, should be able to wander away, but that's heal and flash burn from Varus, who's already the sacrificial lamb in this comp.
Oh, is he going to be forced to recall? I don't think so. He's going to be... Oh, he actually chose to go for the recall there, so... I thought maybe he was going to be staying, but he's going to be missing a lot of CS here, and if he gets behind, there's no summoner spells. I mean, Diana, not the strongest early game gankers, but after level 6, they could definitely look for some dives here, and a Varus that's far behind could be rough for him.
It's likely to be difficult, and... Actually, Fury needs to be a little bit careful himself, taking an unfortunate trade in the mid lane against Emnes, who's a player who we've seen play so well in week 1. Yes, there's a one-on-one, but getting so many solo kills and having such a strong performance. Now on the Vladimir, which is something we don't see super often, but as you say, if he can survive through this lane against Fury, which early doors suggests it looks pretty good, that he could be a massive fulcrum for this team moving forward.
Yeah, I said something about him not having too much pressure early on, but maybe I should add that that's based on old Vladimir, on how Vladimir used to work, because we've not been seeing him that much in competitive. And that old Vladimir, we're looking at sort of level 7, level 9, when you're really getting your Q cooldown pretty low. That's when you can go for the big lane pressure and then sustain up the harass that you're taking. But as it's looking so far, level 2 Vladimir sort of chunking out this Yasuo, and Emnes is looking really comfortable right now. But Dan might be looking for something here. Not spotted on any wards, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like he's coming in secret. Odie and Duel going to be in a lot of trouble. The Galio gets the engage. Double taunt on is really nice, and this should just be fish in a barrel. Odie burning. Odie goes down. First blood going over to Zamalek.
Yeah, it's just a solid gank from Dan there, able to path around really well, not being spotted out by any wards on the bottom side of the map. Also, Odie, having used the cleanse, chose not to flash. Not sure if he would have been able to flash away from some part of the combination of skills, but look at this. Dan coming in completely out of vision, and there's a beautiful CC chain. I think if Odie flashes immediately, he's still dead, so it's probably a good choice not to use that summoner spell and instead save it for any rainy days that could be coming up.
Yeah, saving it up. Good discipline just to hold on to that one, not using it.
Ooh, kick it.
Excessively.
Level 2 roam.
He's thinking about coming in towards Shikari on the top side, the unkillable top laner right now, but Shikari level 4 on Renekton shouldn't be in too much worry if Kikis is going to come in at level 2. Hasn't got the ultimate, hasn't really got that many tools, and maybe just protected for a dive.
Yeah, could be expecting that to come in, leaving the Varus alone in the bottom lane. Looks to be quite fine here. I mean, Varus can farm from long range with those Qs, being able to throw that out. So Zamalek looks to be fine here, and yes, Kikis is missing a lot of XP, so he will be behind on that, but that also means that Zamalek is able to pick up solo XP for quite a while, so he's catching up from that CS that he missed after the level 1 play. It's also even CS with Odie, even though he was forced to recall at level 1, so Zamalek is back in the game. Kikis is slightly behind, but I don't think that's going to matter too much.
No, it shouldn't be too much of a problem on the Galio. And of course, dying Odie had to walk back to lane as well, which is why things are looking pretty nice. But Duel and Odie are thinking about trying to get an engage on a little bit of poke onto Kikis, but couldn't find Zamalek overextending, which is probably the target that they wanted. But 5 minutes into this one, things have been looking pretty good for JDXL. But that being said, is the fact that the solo lanes have been a little bit quieter good for JDXL? Because we mentioned how they kind of just want to survive through it, and it seems they're doing quite a good job of that. As actually in the top lane, bit of a scuffle, but nothing too much.
Yeah, for sure. Christ doing better than I was expecting here in this matchup. Seems to be quite confident here with the early steel caps, able to go toe-to-toe with Shikari. And as you mentioned, they're fine with the lanes going even here. But C-Boy looking for the top lane here. Gets spotted out by a ward though, so this Diana won't be able to find too much. 2 camps ahead of the Xin Zhao, so he's definitely pretty happy. Wants to farm for that level 6 and then go for some sort of big play with his first ultimate, I believe. That's what I would have done as the Diana, at least.
And when you've got the Yasuo in the mid lane, you've got Renekton in the top lane, you've got decent lanes to gank for if you've got the ultimate available. But now the top lanes have ultimate available. Shikari's just holding on, getting the damage and getting the solo kill into Cry. He's going to try and catch up with Mnez. 1 to the good.
Oh, that's a bit weird. I mean, I was honestly expecting more from Kreis. You're such an experienced, strong top laner. You should be able to know the damage points like in these really common matchups. I mean, you are the one choosing to play Gwen into the Renekton. You can pick any champion that you want, with Renekton being first picks. Goes for the Gwen, goes for the big all-in, and just isn't even really close to winning it. So Kreis with a bit of a mistake there. Hopefully he can bounce back from that.
Fury not interested in being caught out by Kikis and just hanging around the top side. Doesn't have great vision on the bot side. It's actually completely owned by JDXL. All of the river is lit up by them, but Duel's going to look towards Zamalek, forcing the flash out of the forest, and actually going to take a little bit of poke on the way out as well, but should be okay just to survive. Guardian taking up the rest of the damage, and C-Boy going to be moving in, looking potentially to get a gank off. He has that level 6 that we talked about, so if there's an engaged follow-up from Duel, this could be pretty nice. C-Boy thinking about trying to look for something, but Zamalek might be a little bit too far away, and Galio puts up the wall, and they both walk out.
Yeah, what we've been seeing, the junglers here, is some different priorities. With Dan prioritizing the Ocean Dragon and securing that early objective for his team, while C-Boy's been farming to get a faster level 6 and then looking for plays with the ulti, but not able to find a play. Will Dan be able to?
Ooh, he's got the ultimate available. He could try and dive in and get the 2v1, but Shikari's just going to slice, doesn't need the dice, and then the bot side taunt landing onto Duel. Odie going to be poking back a little bit, not too much damage flying either way, but with no junglers in sight, the fight bot dissipates.
Yeah, and sort of passive so far, and especially with the early Ocean Dragon going over to JDXL, I'm liking their position right now. I mean, the early Ocean Dragon is going to help so much. It's for sure the best early game dragon to get if you're able to get it really early, and I think Dan was level 5 when he secured it, so that's going to give his laners actually so much more security and sustain. And speaking of sustain, this Vladimir is going to, especially with the Ocean Dragon, I mean, he's going to be full HP all the time, pretty much.
And he's having such a great time in that mid lane. We've got Bifrost starting up the Rift Herald, but both teams have numbers around the area, so Shikari and C-Boy need to be a little bit careful. Cry's coming in for the collapse. They might be caught between a rock and a hard place. The engage coming up through, the ultimate will land. Yasuo getting some decent damage down, and they get the first kill of the fight. Kikis will fall as well as Cry's trying to run, trying to get away, but now looks to turn it around. C-Boy going low, has the shield, but will get deleted by the Vladimir. It's going to be 2 kills to 1. Rift Herald went down in there as well.
Oh, Shikari's looking for it?
Oh no, he's still looking for it, but it's actually Fury who picked up the objective. 2 for 1 on kills and objective secured.
Yeah, that was a really nice wombo combo for Bifrost, getting this big engage with Renekton and Diana Yasuo on top of each other. So as we'll take a look at the replay, we can see that everyone is coming in for this fight, but JDXL is slower. Varus is catching mid, and for some reason Vladimir runs towards the fight, then runs back towards the mid lane, and then goes to the fight again. So he's here far too late. And while JDXL are pretty much as strong as Bifrost, just looking at the 5v5 champions, it was not a 5v5 fight. I mean, Bifrost was able to use all of their strong team fighting abilities before everyone from JDXL was there. So pretty much a 5v3 in the early stages there, and Bifrost gets rewarded with the Herald. As you pointed out, it is on Fury though, so it's not as easy for them to choose where to put down the pressure with the Herald, since it is on the mid laner.
Absolutely. And this is what we see a little bit in NLC, where teams will give the Herald to a solo laner so that they can have the value out of it fully themselves, not sharing it with their junglers. This time around, it was just a case of someone needs to pick this up before we all get murdered by JDXL. So Fury happy to secure that one, but whether he'll just drop it down his own lane or will try and get a robe going, he has ultimate available, so does C-Boy. They could look to try and do a nasty gank bot on top if they're looking at it, but this is the power of what we saw from that combination. You mentioned it yourself, Reddington, Diana, Yasuo, such a lethal triple in that last fight, and hopefully for Bifrost, they'll be able to pick up a couple more like that. And getting a couple of kills on Yasuo, has this made things look a little bit brighter for Bifrost?
Yeah, for sure. Getting this early couple of kills, 1,000 gold lead. They have bought themselves a bit of a lead, getting themselves a bit more time. But, I mean, if I'm in Bifrost's shoes, I'm thinking that we should keep the pressure up. We should try to make plays with C-Boy and Duel, and that's exactly what's happening.
C-Boy getting played onto. There's the ultimate coming on through, and Rakan trying to follow up. Dan is in trouble. Everyone's getting into his area of effect, and there is the kill. C-Boy picking up his first of the game.
Are they going to be able to transition into something, though? They got the kill there, but, Vladimir defending his own tower really well right there. Might be looking to keep fighting on the bottom side as well as the top side. Crazy!
He's going low. Shikari still unkilled, but will he go down now? No, he won't. He survives with the dominance, picks up the kill as well. You can't take this man down.
Oh, the last second heal, or was it even a level up? I'm not entirely sure, but Shikari just living with a sliver of HP, and this is really painful for my countryman up in the top lane there. Crazy 0 and 2, getting solo killed twice in 11 minutes. Here's the Hex Flash from Kickers, though.
Ooh, nice talk coming off you. Fury might not be so lucky to survive. He will not. Kickers wanders away. It's as simple as that.
Really well executed from JDXL. They knew that Bifrost had just recalled with their jungle and support duo, so they were not on the map, and Kickers knows, okay, I have a short timing window, I can go for setting up a play, and with the Galio, with the CC chain, there's a lot of just keeping Fury stuck pretty much, and then comes the damage from the Vladimir. Here's the earlier play, though, where you can see C-Boy is actually pretty hard to take down with all of his shields coming in, and then the combo with the Diana and Yasuo ulti, getting the kill right there. In the top lane, though, Crazy and Shikari, I mean, I gotta admit that I'm not too big of an expert in this matchup, but it just seems like Shikari is slicing him down. I mean, and there's not too much to say. The Renekton is just playing it well. He's utilizing all of the heals and some nice combinations with the CC and all of the healing coming in from the ulti as well. And a third replay. Wow, our observers are really smurfing it right now. 3 replays in a row, and this is just a solid. All the CC coming in from Kickers and then all the damage from MNS. A bit weird that MNS was not the one tanking, since you can just drop the aggro with the Vladimir W, but did not end up mattering because Fury did not have the backup from his teammates there.
We saw the second dragon going over to Bifrost during those replays, and it's an Infernal Ref to start us up in week 2. But I'm really excited. This game has looked really, really fun so far, and all of the teams are playing, both teams are playing well, right? It's not a case of there's been big mistakes from one side or another. There have been little things that haven't been optimal, but by and large, all the proactive plays are coming off for the two teams. So it's a question of who's going to make the next big proactive play. It could be Kickers actually, as Duel misses the engage, as Gallia moving back towards the bottom side.
I think that's a really good point you just made. Both of these teams are looking to set up plays, looking to make things happen. They're not just passively farming. They want to see the action because they think they'll benefit from that, and I think that is good decisions from them. We can see Fury here having used the Herald, I presume, in the mid lane to pick up a couple of plates. They're still quite behind here on the CS compared to MNS, so he's going to be scaling up. And the reason that it's really important to be watching the solo laners here and how strong they are compared to each other is that I think both of these teams are looking for the 1-3-1 going into the mid game. Throwing the Yasuo and Renekton in the side lanes if you're Bifrost, and then if you're JDXL, you want Vladimir and Gwen in the sides. The question is who's going to be matching up with who, and who's going to be winning those 1v1 scenarios. And what factor is the Galio ulti gonna play, because that's a semi-global. Speaking of the Galio ulti, whoever fights.
Yes, just come in. Kikis needs to be a little bit careful. Zamalek's turned up, gets the root down. C-Boy will fall, and they manage to lock up Shikari, chasing him down as well, but he will be able to get away this time around. Now support is coming on through. Duel misses the knock-up onto everyone, though, and he's going to go down for the double kill. Odie has to flash away, though, as this is a complete and utter rout. Odie running to the wind down river. Shikari's made his way out, still unkilled, but Bifrost, they lose 3 members in a nightmarish manner, and they're going to lose Rift Tower as well. Odie might still make it 4, though. Running towards the tower, will be able to hold away, but still get taunted up, and there's MNS to pick up the kill. JDXL turn on the style and pick up a big lead.
What a fight! 4 kills, or maybe 3 kills actually going over to Zamalek, so he's really big on the Varus right now. 4-0 on him, 3-0 onto MNS in the mid lane. But look at this Galio. This is why this pick is so brilliant. Kick is forcing them all to run away, which means that Dan can survive through all that fight. And then it's just Zamalek cleaning this up, and with the Varus passive, it's not a reset, but when you get a kill, you get a lot of increased attack speed, which means that once you've gotten 1 kill, you can just keep shooting your bow and arrow, getting all of those kills. So 3 going over to him, 1 going over to MNS, and JDXL are looking to be in a solid position right now. I do like where they're at the moment.
Yeah, they put themselves into a nice stance from a little bit behind to a little bit ahead, about 1,000 as we hit the 16-minute mark. Bifrost need to find a solution because their re-engage in that fight was pretty poor, to be honest. Duel missing absolutely everyone with the knock-up and not really being on the same page with the rest of the team that were in full retreat at the time. Bifrost might have just given themselves a much harder challenge with MNS. 3 kills, 4 kills on Zamalek, 3 of them picked up in that last fight. Members coming online. Look at the items as well. Things could be a little bit rough in the next couple of minutes.
I think Bifrost, there is the Chain of Corruption looking for the play, almost gets it. Cute combination there with the Gale Force together with the Varus ulti, trying to set up the plays. Now, but speaking of the fights that we've been seeing, Bifrost has a lot of burst damage and CC with a Rakan engage followed up by a Diana ulti on several people and then a Yasuo ult. That is what we define as a wombo combo. But other than that, we don't have that. Oh, well, might have to hold my tongue here.
Shikari grabs the Dominus, is looking to try and get back towards his tower, but could this be his first death? Dan is looking to take him down. MNS with the ultimate should be enough to pop the crocodile, and there he goes. 3rd game in and Shikari falls.
Lot of healing there with the Gore Drinker and the Q when you've stacked up the Fury, but not enough to live through MNS. And this Vladimir pick is really working out well. I mean, he's been pressuring Yasuo like the entire laning phase. I'm not sure how much this is MNS being the stronger player. If he even is the stronger player, or if it's just Vladimir being a really good champion in this matchup. But this is a pick we've not been seeing that much. But after seeing MNS piloting the Vladimir here, I mean, I'm expecting to see more of it. It looks really strong.
It looks like a very, very strong matchup in the mid lane. You can see why they were so comfortable picking this one up and leaving the support as their counter going into it, because they said, we already saw your mid laner, we know the solution to it, we know how MNS can run this matchup, and he's definitely doing so right now. Infernal Dragon has flown down onto the Rift, Duel hanging on the side, though we can see a full fight as JDXL feel confident in taking this one. Teleport coming on through from Shikari, so it will be a 5v5 when he's in the mix. Squared over the back of the pit, though, they've managed to catch out the jungler, and the damage coming on through. C-Boy has to jump away. His ult's no longer available either, as Bifrost might have to look to make their excuses and leave towards the bot side. The Dragon's been picked up. C-Boy's dove in, but he's gone in a little bit too early. Will be able to steal the Dragon, but will fall for his sins. It's 1 for Dragon, and Bifrost get away.
Yeah, that was them. I mean, they're getting away with robbery right there. C-Boy being able to jump back into the pit. Actually, I think he flashed back into the pit and then got the smite fight there, winning the 50-50. Fight continuing, though.
I don't know if this is a good one that Bifrost wanted. I think they've agreed with me, backing away, trying to get the brush bait, but really don't want to catch anything.
Okay, so looking at the fight before there, I mean, I've been criticizing Cryzy quite a bit in this game. I mean, he wasn't playing too well in the laning phase, but that was a really nice TP. He was TPing on the ward where Dan is right now. Oh, this is the dive, though.
Oh, Shikari goes low. Where's the snipe? There it is. Zamalek picks up another 6 kills on the Varus, and they can continue the siege.
Wow, he's looking so strong right now. Zamalek's the carry. There's nothing that's too threatening for him to deal with in the enemy front line. The Renekton is going to be sort of tanky with a Styrax Gore Drinker, but you can tear through that if you're a 6-0 Varus with a lethal tempo, this sort of auto-attack based build, not the lethality one. You're able to kill tanks pretty dang well, and Samalek is going to be having a field day this game. I think if Bifrost are to win these fights, it's got to come down to somehow duel, I think, finding Samalek. Oh!
Eminez, the
That's
king of the solo kill, does it again.
Bolo.
Does it again. He's just so great at knowing the damage limits.
For sure, when you're stacking up that third Q on Vladimir that deals extra damage, and then he's just used that entire no, he didn't even use the ultimate, I think. I think that was EQ Ignite. No Ignite, no Proto Belt. That was EQ Proto Belt, pretty much. Just one-shot the Kai'Sa. Looks pretty strong. No. And now he's got the Sonius as well. Sides.
That's definitely
for sure.
The problem. Because Odie was a player who played really, really well in week number 1 on the Jinx, and now he's on the Kai'Sa, and 0-3-3, 40 farm down. It's not been the most fun interactive gameplay experience for him. Gonna have to try and find his way back in. Of course, Bifrost want to be playing off these big ultimates and these big teamfight combinations, and Kai'Sa's kind of the standout, not really involved, but can still bundle forward choice. What do you want to see Bifrost do in this situation? Because right now it feels like they're just hemorrhaging advantages and hemorrhaging ground.
They're trying to throw out the 1-3-1 here with Yasuo and Renekton in the side lanes. Not sure how well that's going to work. I think the play to go for is just to try to find a pick. You have the opportunities, like you have all the tools in the toolbox to be able to make that happen, but it's going to be down to Jewel on this Rakan and the entire team to control vision in their own jungle, sweeping it out, and then maybe waiting for JDXL to overcommit. Speaking of an overcommit, though, might be Bifrost who got too deep.
Fury trying to get away. The shield has been popped. He's taking so much damage, but we'll be able to stumble away for now. At least dive forward from Dan, but he can't get the kill either. Seaboy is going to be waited on so that they can both get away. Shikari dives on the Cries to try and stop him getting involved, and they will be able to do so. Seaboy gets the shield and has to dash away, but Kickers goes low. He's actually going to go down. They overextended just a tad, and Bifrost actually win out on that fight.
Did they though?
Eminez on the side. He's going to try and go in for it, but there's the combo. There's the shutdown going in onto Fury. Dan going to be chased away. But he's looking like there's high health bar. Zamalek going to strike back, but it looks like Bifrost happy with the 2 they've gained, and they're going to back off.
And something I thought about the team comp from JDXL earlier on is that they can't really engage, like, ever. They don't have the tools to make a pick of their own and try to, like, set up the fight themselves. They just have to be calm and collected in this 1-3-1. Since they're winning the side lanes, I mean, that's going to be fine. And then you have all the disengage and dodging abilities in the world when Bifrost engages on you. But instead they try to go for the engage themselves. Kikis channels the taunt in a bush, I think. That's how they started the fight. And in the end, sort of gets a little bit punished at least. Not too bad for them, but definitely good for Bifrost coming back a bit in this game.
Getting themselves out of a small amount of the hole. They're still behind a couple of 1,000 gold at 23-24 minute mark, but if they can turn fights like that and they can force overextensions, then maybe they've got a chance. Now, Shikari, half a health up against Cries. It's a 1v1. But Shikari now doesn't feel so confident in the matchup. Going to be backing away. And, of course, Gwen, we talked about getting a couple of items coming online, is almost at that 2-item mark. And Seaboy going to be roosted up, goes golden duel using the ultimate. Look for the engage, finds Zamalek and follows through Odie. But now Zamalek's the statue as Seaboy moves on forward, misses the ultimate onto the rise. Varus, who will be able to move away. Odie gets the first kill in the fight. Seaboy in the backline will be able to assassinate Zamalek before going down as Shikari teleports in. Dragon on the map. Both teams can fight over it. But again, Bifrost win the fight 2-1. Eminez looking like he wants to re-engage. You know, Dan on the side could look to do the same thing. Cries picking up the blue buff, as it looks like Dan is going to be the one to pull the trigger. Duel diving on forward, but now Fury's left alone with Eminez in the mid lane, and Bifrost needs to back away. Fury diving on through, taking a lot of damage. The ultimate has popped. He needs to try and get some sustain, some healing, but he will not be able to as Eminez picks up the kill. Now Cries on the other side is pushing members of Bifrost away. The objective is theirs as JDXL take the fight. Able
to get it here since there's no jungler on Bifrost that could steal this away, but Bifrost, what a weird fight. What actually happened to your team right there? You were in a 4 versus 3 scenario where you had all the control, you had the vision control in the bushes. You were able to play that out a lot better than what happened with Fury going down, I believe. But this might be the Baron. JDXL is going to be starting that out with C-Boy actually making his way in here, so could be this might fight if they want to challenge it, but I'm not sure if they do.
I think it's going to go down too quickly. Kikis is being the bouncer and doing an excellent job at it. Is Galio not going to be able to let anyone through? And that's the secure from JDXL. Duel tries in vain to go in, but now he's going to try and get away, speeding up C-Boy and himself to try and escape. Will be able to do so. So Bifrost don't lose any members, but JDXL have Baron on 5.
Yeah, and Baron with a 1-3-1 comp that's ahead. That's really, really hard to deal with. I mean, I think you just throw the Vlad and the Gwen in the side lanes right here to buff up all of those minions in all 3 lanes. And what can Bifrost really do? It's going to be really hard for them to play against that if that is the play that JDXL wants to set up here. I think that's what they should go for.
See if they follow your advice or if they go for something a little bit different. Fury and C-Boy on the bot side. Odie coming down as well. Bifrost just wanting to start forcing in some objectives. Pushing where Baron is not will allow them to take a couple of bricks down. But things feeling pretty tense from them right now as JDXL look to have control over the whole map. Sending members back. Bifrost looking to get into that inner tower. And actually if they can grab 2 here, that's quite a nice return.
Yeah, for sure. I think Bifrost is just going to be giving up all the towers up until their own base and say that we're going to make our last stand at our inhibitor tower. And if you're able to pick up 2 towers for free before that, I mean, that's just a lot of gold going into your pockets. And there have been some big items coming in right now. Kai's build just unlocked with the finishing of the Muramana and the Nashor's Tooth. And we also had Infinity Edge for Fury. So a couple of big items just came in for Bifrost. They are still behind, but they could definitely win a fight here if they played well, and especially if they're able to catch out Samolek, who does have the Sonias though, so it might be a bit hard to catch him because of that.
Yeah, Samolek knows that he's the target, and it's like, I'm just going to grab myself a defensive AP item, don't mind me, it kind of works with my kit, and it's going to be impossible for them to lock him down immediately if he can get his hand on the draw fast enough, so making himself a much less appealing target. Eminez, of course, 6-1 also has the W to turn into a pool of blood and avoid a lot of the damage being thrown his way. So Bifrost might have the tools to engage, but they haven't really got great targets as Fury's going to dive into this bot side to try and clear out these minions. But with the Baron empowering them, it looks like Yasuo might have to just back away.
Yeah, so all of the outer towers are going to be going down here. I think the big question is what's going to happen at the base, at the inhibitors. Will JDXL go for a dive? Will Bifrost be able to defend? Will they actually look for a pick in the jungle, which they did here with Jewel popping the quickness, but did not get anything out of it except for the pool from Eminez. That's that going to mean mid lane tower going down, perhaps?
Kikis was thinking about it. Shikari was able to dive away. He only one taking the taunt and does manage to survive, but looks like JDXL have moved all their members mid, keeping this cannon alive and chipping down towards this mid tower. The wave clear is not super long range from Bifrost, so they might struggle to break this one unless they go for an all-in engage. C-Boy throwing it through, but there's the Baron falling off. They keep their towers for a second longer, but Kryze is going there. There's the engage coming up through. They know that a member isn't there, and the damage is coming thick and fast, but no kills just yet. There's the first one of the fight. It's Odie dives in to try and get involved, but Vladimir takes him out of the fight effectively, and Bifrost are just melted through. Gwen and Vladimir finally online. Duel is the last one standing, but he gets cut to ribbons, and it's gonna be JDXL taking themselves to a positive win rate and taking down Bifrost.
JDXL really making this comp work, playing it really, really well. I mean, I don't think you can see my cam right now, but I am taking my imaginary hat off for Bifrost. I think that was a great attempt, trying to defend their own base, getting the flash engage with the Diana and Yasuo ulti on 3 people. That is pretty much as good of a fight as you can realistically be hoping for when trying to defend your own base. But in the end, JDXL too dang strong.
They have shown that, and now members are coming out to defend, so Bifrost looking to try and put some damage in, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do so. There's 3 members there, but JDXL, they're going to be piled onto by Bifrost. The Nexus is certainly low, but C-Boy's going to be able to get another. Eminez is still alive. Can they take him down before he takes the Nexus? Yes, they can! Bifrost hold on! Odie grabs a triple. We thought they were down and out, but they're still in the game.
Wow, what is this, Viperoon? I was sure the
Okay.
game was about to end. I mean, the first thing that comes into my mind, which is maybe why I'm not actually playing in these sort of big stake tournaments, is, okay, how could JDXL do a cheesy backdoor and finish off the Nexus? But I don't think they have any really good ways of doing so. There is a TP on Cryzy. Look at this. There is the engage from Bifrost, which is pretty much like the best they can hope for. They're layering everything on top of each other, with OD jumping in on the Kai'Sa as well. But in the end, JDXL are just too tanky. Cryzy, MNS, I mean, they are not going to be going down here. There's no great tank killing on the side of Bifrost either. Look at the towers here. This is got to be really, really close towards the end here. Oh, MNS going for the pool, survives for a while, but that is really close. I think that's like 500 HP or maybe even less on that Nexus. Wow. There is a ward.
In a dream.
Yeah, for sure. There is a
Crysis
ward
teleport.
on the Nexus, and Cryzy has the teleport, but you have to see all members of Bifrost outside of the base in order to go for that, and I don't think Bifrost is gonna let that happen.
I'm gonna keep my eyes on the minimap though, because you talked about cheesy ways of backdooring. That would certainly equate to one of those. And if they commit, Bifrost commit all 5 members, as you say, the Gwen does a decent amount of damage in quite a rapid succession. Could look to take the Nexus down, but Bifrost are committing members forward. Shikari moving back towards the base, maybe smelling something is up with that long. Oh, there's the teleport coming on through. Keep your eyes
he's going for
on
it.
Christ. He's going to the base. Will anyone be able to get back and stop him? Shikari is running. Well, it's just going to be the Gwen cutting the Nexus to shreds. And that's the win for JDXL.
Wow, the modern day